Have you seen the stat, Michael, that the Chargers have lost 13 games
in the last 2 years?
One score games.
By one. Yeah, it's crazy.
One score. And here's the other one. So the Saints last night, they trailed by as many as 17, of course. Fourth team to overcome a 17-point deficit on Monday Night Football since 2010. 3 out of those 4 have come against the Chargers. I mean, we talked about the Falcons. I mean, they're like cousins that live across country from each other. All that said, though, if I am a Charger fan, my voice went high. If I'm a Charger fan right now, you can't tell me nothing. Because we got a guy. We got a guy at quarterback. And I would much rather be 1-4, not finishing games, than be 3-2, not knowing where my franchise starts and ends. Like, they know they got a potential star starting quarterback. We know how many times that the Chargers couldn't get over the hump with Phillip Rivers, one of my favorite quarterbacks in recent memory, couldn't get over the hump with Phillip Rivers, right? You know, always seem to underachieve, and if they got to the playoffs, they only went so far. And, you know, a lot of times, man, teams aren't fortunate enough to get another stud.
Numbers. Look
You
at
know
that
what I mean?
completion percentage. Look at that completion
Teams aren't fortunate enough to get consecutive studs at quarterback.
Yeah.
This guy is a problem. He's good.
Okay.
He has gone toe-to-toe with Mahomes, whatever's left of Brady and Breeze, and outplayed all of them. How is he the first rookie quarterback to throw 4 touchdown passes on Monday Night Football? That's incredible. He's the first guy to do that as a rookie.
Right.
Unbelievable.
All right.
He's something.
Before we get to him, you just said something. You said, hey, if I'm a Chargers fan,
I'm feeling good
excited.
right now.
You're feeling good.
I'm feeling good. I don't care about the loss. I don't care about the loss.
I feel like, okay, you bristled. That's the right way of putting it. You pushed back when I said that the Falcons were cursed. Remember I said that? I said they're cursed. You're like, no, that's not cursed. That's not a curse. I'll give you all these examples of why the Falcons are cursed. Some franchises are cursed. They are. Okay, with the Falcons, but with the Chargers, though, I don't know if it's cursed. It's something between the ears, though. I don't know if they need life coaches or a different coach. I don't know. But when you lose that many close games, Mike, and you have the talent that they've had, it's not just the last 2 years. Great stat for the last 2 years. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you this, and you won't be able to answer. What's the definitive game in Chargers history? Is it like that time? Sorry, Rodney Harrison. That time they went to the Super Bowl and got done by the Niners and Steve Young's Niners?
It was probably the AFC title game that year, but yeah, I got you. Here's the only thing I would say to you.
Something's in the dirt, man. It's in the dirt, whether it's San Diego or Los Angeles.
Okay, here's the only thing I would say to you about this whole curse thing, all right, is that...
Or just low expectations,
you're cursed,
maybe.
But you're cursed until you're not. You're cursed until you're not. You're coming to me live from Boston. You're coming to me live from Boston. So you're cursed, and then they break the curse. So is it a curse? You can break it?
No, it wasn't a curse. It wasn't a curse. No, it wasn't.
It was incompetence. Or it was penance for being the last team to integrate. Who knows?
Yeah,
whatever it was.
And racism. Racism.
Yeah, and racism. There's racism in America. Yeah, okay. So there you go. You're talking to somebody who grew up in New Orleans, where they wore bags on their heads to Saints games.
The Aints.
They weren't cursed. They were the Saints. They weren't cursed. They were the opposite of cursed. They were blessed.
Well,
and eventually they won the Super Bowl. And now, if anything,
I think the Los Angeles
got it out
Chargers,
for them because all these awful calls. So I think
the Los Angeles Chargers, they need like some whole session, just like a whole they need a makeover. Because you look at them, when they take that lead, a busted play by the Saints, and it's too bad, in a pandemic, it's more obvious. You're there in the Superdome. Who was it, Patrick Robinson? Is that the corner who gave up the big play? So Patrick Robinson, there in an empty Superdome, you give up a 64-yard touchdown. It's all your fault. Yeah. It's all your fault. You're sitting down in the zone. You're waiting for help that ain't coming. And so the cameras are there. And like you can't even pretend like nobody else is there. You can't pretend like you don't see the cameras there. And the cameras just held there for a long. They were just on them for a long time. I kind of felt bad for the brother. You know, he was just sitting there trying to drink some Gatorade. You know, that's like one of those things when the camera's on you, you're just acting like you're drinking something. I'm just going to distract myself until you go away, but they never went away. Mm. So in that situation, 27-20, about 4 minutes left in the game. You should win that game. I mean, you should win it. You make a stop. You make a stop, which they didn't. Play some ball control, and you win it. Have your kicker make a field goal, which he didn't. So, I mean, I think part of it is it's just you just expect bad things. It's not a curse. You're right.
Yes.
But you get to a point as an organization.
It defies explanation. It defies explanation.
But not really. It doesn't defy.
How does this keep happening?
But it doesn't. It doesn't defy explanation.
Okay, yeah, you with me. Yeah.
You get to the point as an organization and as a fan base where you expect bad things to happen. And I think it just infects. It infects a team, a building, a region. I think that's what's going on.
Until somebody comes in and changes it.
Somebody's got to come in.
I talked about Boston. And I like Anthony Lynn a lot, but I talk about Boston. What were the Patriots, with the exception of 1985? What were the Patriots throughout their history? They were a laughing stock for the most part. Exactly.
Yeah.
Till Parcells comes along and establishes credibility, and then it's Parcells and Pete Carroll.
And even there was a circus with that. Even he created a circus. It was even a circus. You know, all
I know is I will, if I'm a Charger fan, I woke up this morning thinking about 4 touchdowns, not 1 and 4. I woke up thinking about the fact that, that guy is good. In a draft, really by the way, that we haven't seen Tua play yet. I mean, after week 1 or 2, I mean, Burrow's, I'm driving Burrow to the Hall of Fame. I'm bringing Burrow. I'm like, you're going right up the road to Canton. You're going from Cincinnati to Canton.
Right?
Like,
it's a short drive.
You know, exactly. And now, like, hold on. This might be the best guy at this draft might be in LA, for all I know.
You know what? It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that because our brother from another, Chris Sims, came on here last week. Remember, we were talking about Herbert. He said, or 2 weeks ago, he said Herbert was his #1 guy when he was doing his pre-draft analysis.
Arm talents. He's got a lot of arm.
He liked Herbert was his #1 quarterback over everybody else. But you think about these quarterbacks. I'm with you. He just looks good. He looks like he just belongs. Yeah. He's not frazzled. The moment's not too big for him. All that stuff is true. You can say that about some players, but for him, it's just obvious. He's got what it takes. But if you look at all these young quarterbacks in the league, doesn't it seem like just a few years ago we were wondering, okay, where are the quarterbacks? Where are the young, talented quarterbacks? The obvious ones are Patrick Mahomes, you mentioned him, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, but now you throw in Herbert, you throw in Burrow. You've got some guys, and some guys in college. We don't know what they're going to turn out to be, but they're well-regarded, highly regarded. I hear people talking about Trevor Lawrence like he's a generational prospect. He's in the same category as Elway, same category as Andrew Luck. So if you got some young quarterbacks who are really making a push to make a stamp on this league.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.